Hi everyone, welcome to another Beatles update with new finds. Just made a video where I showed all kinds of records that were non-Beatles. And I got quite a good assortment of stuff here that I think you'll be interested in. Before I get to the actual records, I'm going to show a few non-record items. I'm going to start with this. This is a DVD of a movie that Ringo made. I think he made it in 1971. It was released in 72, called Blind Man. It's a spaghetti western with Ringo right up there on the poster, playing a Mexican bandito who gets into all kinds of unpleasantries, torture, rape, and un-Beatle-y characteristics like that. And this movie is very interesting, if not only to be able to see Ringo in such an uncharacteristic role and see him doing all kinds of things that you wouldn't expect the old lovable mop top to do. I just think it's really interesting for that. And maybe I'll make a video at some point actually reviewing this movie and talking more about the film itself. But it came out on DVD fairly recently after missing for so long as an official release. Used to be able to get it as a bootleg, but not officially. Let's stick with Ringo just for a moment. And again, I can't recall if I've shown this before. This is something I got quite some time ago. It's a poster advertising Ringo and his all-star band, the concert. And I think this is from 1995, I think. This is a 1995 lineup. I don't think it doesn't have the date here, but I'm pretty sure that's the lineup. I think that's the year for it. Let's see, a couple of more memorabilia items before I get on to actual records. This is another upgrade of something that I had. The Beatles 62 to 66 and 67 to 70. What this was that when the I think the albums were coming out on CD, maybe. I'm not sure about that. It had advertising materials here. You got a videotape in this side that shows video clips, and I forget which ones they are. I think they're Hello Goodbye is one of them. I forget what this coincided with. It might have coincided with the release of the Beatles compilation albums on CD. You have Hello Goodbye, The Fool on the Hill, and I Want to Hold Your Hand, and Help, which are featured on the video. Okay. And I had this once before, but I bought it with all this material missing here. In this pocket here, you've got some promotional material. It says The Beatles, August 93. So I don't really know what that is. There's like film clips and things in there. You want to peruse this a little farther? See what they maybe are. Okay. I don't know how well it's going to show up. I need a flashlight for this, but you might be able to see. You can see it. I don't know what these are exactly, if they're photos or what. But there's one, and there's I think 3 altogether. There's another, making it number 2. You know that photo of the Beatles, right? Actually, there are 4. 3. And the last one, number 4. Early shot. Then we also have a couple of stills. I guess this represents the earlier Beatles. This one says, did I say 1995? I don't remember what year I said. This is 1993. These are all listed as 93. That's 1 and 2. And here we go. Now this will tell you more what it is. Yeah, this is media information. This is the Beatles Red and Blue CD release by Mark Lewison. Looks like an George Martin interview with Mark Lewison. Looks like Mark Lewison interviews George Martin on this, which is interesting. And this looks like more of a press release for this project. So 1993 release, this package. All right. Okay, now, big news right now, currently in Beatledom, has to do with the 50th anniversary of the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. And I guess this is a good time as any to throw in a little news about that. I mean, we're all seeing it online. I certainly didn't break the news. On May 26th, they're going to release the 50th anniversary of Sgt. Pepper. There's going to be various versions available. Going to be a 6 CD deluxe set, which is the one I'm going to get, which is going to have recording sessions. The album is going to be remixed brand new by Giles Martin. We're going to have, in that 6-disc set, we're going to have the Making of Sgt. Pepper DVD, the program that aired in 1992. And also, in addition to that, if you prefer, you can just get a 2 CD set, which I guess will have just the sessions, maybe, and the album proper. Going to be, I should say, in the 6 CD set, there's also going to be a mono version again, as opposed to a stereo. You're going to have a stereo option and a mono option, 2 discs. So you have that. You also have, as I say, the 2 CD set if you prefer, or I think there's even a single CD set. And as far as vinyl goes, what a lot of us here care about the vinyl, is going to be a 2 LP vinyl set. Well, let me just fix this a little bit. Okay. Well, the reason I bring that up is because I recently picked up an upgrade of the original U.S. Sgt. Pepper album in mono, and it's a really nice copy of this one. Very nice. It's got everything inside, the inserts there. You can see the inserts and the psychedelic inner sleeve, and it's got the picture gatefold of the Beatles. This is really in minty shape, and the record is in great shape, and it is an early press, maybe a first press, because in addition to the record being pretty sparkling, it does have the situation with the second song where it says "a little help from my friends" instead of "with a little help from my friends." The word "with" is missing on this. So nice find. As I say, I already had this, in a mono original, but this really was a notch above the one that I had. And when it comes to Beatles, of course, it's about upgrading for me, and that's what I'm doing. In addition to getting things I may not have ever seen before, of course. Oh, I started showing the records, and guess what? There was one more piece of memorabilia that I hadn't shown, so let's get to that. As well. Oh, I taped this in here. Okay. It's a Wings Over America program from 1976, and I already taped plastic all over this. But I'm going to suffer for a moment here, and if you'll indulge me, I will take this out of the packaging. And I just wrecked the packaging, but that's what you got to do when you're making videos quickly. Okay, there it is, 1976. I didn't get to see Paul in 1976. I didn't go to that concert, unfortunately. Let's look at some pictures this way, shall we? Linda loved her animals. You got all the members of the band covered in here. Each have their own spot, along with Paul and Linda, of course. Jimmy McCulloch, Joe English, Denny Lane. There's Linda. And somebody named Paul. I don't know who that is. And very nice to have it in pretty good condition, too. Now I'll have to go and rewrap it, but it is what it is. I also picked up this UK reissue of George Harrison, aka the best of George Harrison, the 1976 release. And it even says on here, side 1, the Beatles, side 2, George Harrison. So a lot of people don't like that George was slighted because they decided to give him a Beatles side on side 1. Okay, next up. Now I bought this. I mean, I have this a few times. This is a double fantasy in shrink wrap with a hype sticker. But the reason I bought it was because I have a Yoko Ono autograph that I got in person when I met Yoko in front of the Dakota building back in 1994. And it's on an index card. She just signed her name. Unfortunately, back in 1994, I had no use for records. I was not into vinyl anymore, and I really couldn't have cared less about getting a record signed, which is really stupid. You know, I actually met Yoko twice in that same year in 1994. One time I had her sign an index card, and one time she signed a photo from out of a book. You know, I really wish I had her sign her name right here on this album. So anyway, the reason I bought this was 2 reasons. Number one, because I figured I could take that index card of Yoko, and I'm going to slide it in the shrink down here maybe, and frame the whole thing with her index card down in there. Let me know what you think of that idea. The other reason is because this is hype sticker I don't usually see. Usually it says contains the hit just like starting over. But I don't usually see one that says contains the hit singles, plural, just like starting over and watching the wheels together. So I thought that was a good reason to pick this up again for a few bucks. I got an upgrade of 2 items here. These are upgrades. This came from the Beatles collection. You've seen when I showed not too long ago a collection that came in shrink wrap. You know, all pristine Beatles albums. This was also from there. It's original All Things Must Pass that I really want to be very gentle with. You know, these George albums have been re-released now and reissued, but I always get a bigger kick out of having the originals if I can find them nice. I tell you, I really would like to show you all these, but I don't want to take them out of here. It's got the poster. The records are all pristinely cared for. The person who owned them put them in plastic in addition to the actual outer, inner, whatever you call it, sleeves, inner sleeves, 3 discs. Really nice upgrade. And the final thing I'm going to show is an upgrade that I got for another album that's been reissued recently. And this is really a nice shape. It's the 1969 release. Ooh, the Wedding Album by John and Yoko. This replaces one that I had. And I think what I'm going to do for the sake of the video is I'm going to go over and get the other one right now. Oh, okay, now I'm back. Here's the other one that I had. You notice the difference in the colorations? It's funny, too, because I had to think for a while. This is my old one. The corner is a little dinged up and taped over on some of these. I had to ask myself, this is an original, isn't it? You know, it's not a reissue or something. It's from the U.S. These are both U.S., by the way. Both of these boxes, they're not U.K., they're not Japanese or anything. They're U.S. But I know they reissued this recently, but I'm pretty sure this is an original. But when I got it, this was not clean like this. This was all dirty. There was dirt spots all over here. And I used the glass wax method of taking glass wax and smoothing out the dirt and making it very bright and white again. So, as you can see, this one I'm going to try to sell to one of my shops. I almost wanted to keep this one because I was so sure it was original, because I mean, sometimes discoloration is good, makes it look more authentic, you know. I really wonder about this. Now, the only thing that I thought was very strange is that when I open up the contents, and I won't go through all of the contents, they're all here, but there was one thing that intrigued me a little bit. This newer copy that I have, this nicer copy that I have, when I held this up, the Bagism bag, it had a black box there, rectangle, whereas the original one, which I'm not going to take out of the other one, but doesn't have this. It's just plain white all the way down. I thought, I wonder if some could have came like this and some not, or is this a reissue? I don't know, but I didn't check it out that well. I mean, it's got this on it. It's got the marriage certificate on it, you know, like it's supposed to have. So I really don't know. And if it's a reissue, it's a reissue. I mean, everything here looks solid. The corners look yellowed, at least. So the corners being kind of yellowy and worn looking lead me to believe that it's, you know, 1969, not 2016. And the back, too. The back has this really flimsy cardboard. See, it looks kind of like a little worn there. It's not, you know, just as the original one that I got first, the yellowish one, also has that cardboard, you know, cheap cardboard back. Well, let me know what you think, everybody. And that's it for this Beatles Finds. Take care.